Well, Bitcoin pulls a nice little number to the upside. We'll be talking about that very shortly in this video, but we're going to be covering a few things this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about why Warren Buffett has got rid of some bank stocks because he ain't too particularly happy with the way they're actually running their business. More importantly, I've got a couple of stories which are going to be presenting themselves potential opportunities, and one's based on the American diet. And more importantly, another, well, it's got a lot of backlash, especially from Kid Rock. If you have seen it, cool. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Trader's Reality. I'm here to bring you some flavor on what is actually going on in the world today. People have lost their minds. Quite frankly, in my opinion, everyone's gone batshit crazy, but we're just going to sit back and observe. That's what we do. We like to see patterns. We like to watch patterns. We are pattern watchers. So make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you ain't part of the pattern watchers family. Let's get with the flavor, guys. So in particular, Warren has now decided to sell some US bank stocks, some household names that you might know, like JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, USB, and it's kind of caught people's attention because when this guy is selling his stock, people are going to listen. When he says buy a stock, people are usually going to listen. The 92-year-old billionaire has made himself a great fortune of picking stocks purely on the idea of future value. What can they contribute as a company in terms of a service? Do they solve a problem? But Warren has said that there are some red flags with regards to these banks, which is what has probably caused the majority of these banks' downfall, like Signature Bank, Silicon Valley. So by him getting rid of these stocks, it's kind of keeping investors at bay at investing in the banking sector because right now it's all about trust. But he did go on to say that people's deposits are safe. Quite frankly, people ain't going to be believing anything, even if it is coming from Warren. At the end of the day, you're going to take your money and run. That's the truth. Now let's put two and two together with this story. JP Morgan makes a deep cut loss in the metals business. This, ironically, comes out today, and it happens to be in line with JP Morgan's earnings announcements that are due out tomorrow. Now, the impact of picking up lots of nickel, what was supposedly nickel, which ended up being stone, that might actually have an impact on JP Morgan's earnings. The problem that we have got with the banking sector in the US might be reflected in the earnings for JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, even BlackRock, Citigroup. You can see tomorrow is going to be a very volatile day. If any of these companies miss estimates, and boy, it's going to be a very bloody day in the marketplace because if the banks ain't making money, no one's making money, which is justified why Warren is reducing his exposure in investing in these companies. Now, stick with me on these next two stories, okay? There's an opportunity. You've seen it. Bud Light's parent company, Anheuser-Busch, has lost more than $6 billion in market cap in just 6 days. After a partnership with Dylan Mulvaney, got a bit of backlash. All right, cool, listen. There's no issue with whoever decides to go onto a partnership. I mean, look, this is what's happened with Kid Rock. He decides to come out and he does a little video of him shooting some Bud Light. But if you look carefully, you'll see that when you pay close attention to it, you will notice that shots are coming from the right. So it ain't really Kid Rock taking the shot. I don't understand why. And of course, his composure when he's actually using this machine gun. I mean, who has an elbow that far out, bro? How are you going to hit these barrels? Like, come on, look at this. Look, what's this elbow doing right here? But did you just see that flash? I mean, I'm no expert in weaponry or anything like that, but usually a bullet goes straight. It ain't coming from the side unless he's doing some weapon bending. But what's that film? Equilibrium? How many of you seen Equilibrium with Christian Bale? Man, flipping those bullets. Yeah. But this is the sort of thing that's causing Bud Light to react, or investors of Bud Light to not welcome the idea of going into partnership with good old Dylan. Now, $6 billion was wiped off the market cap. So just check this out. We have got Bud's market cap stock right here, $129 billion. Now, stick with me on this one. This is the weekly chart, okay? It was at 133 billion. Now it's gone back down to about 129, but it actually went to a low of 125, okay? So let's just work this out. They lost a lot of interest in people. People don't want their product anymore because of a partnership that people ain't welcoming. But let's just look at the price action. We know when banks don't do something right, the banks just collapse. People pull money out of the banks. And you've seen that with Silicon Valley. You've seen that with Goldman Sachs. All you got to do is just go over to Goldman Sachs itself as a ticker, all right? And look what's going on here. Like, this bad boy's been dropping nonstop. And this is because of the banking situation that we have got. Look on the weekly, it's coming down, it's gone up, it's gone down. It's not looking good. But when you go back to this right here, and stick with me on this, go into the daily. This event with Dylan has happened over the last few days, okay? But when we go back into the chart itself, you can see you got a gap down right here. That same gap down was instantly closed, okay? Another gap down happened, and now they're still trying to close the gap itself, and it's up for the day at 1.52%. For the week itself, not bad, it's only down 3% for the week after receiving such a big backlash. And the press not really liking this new partnership. Which grants the question. Loses $6 billion in value, yet it's not going anywhere. It looks like just a standard week in trading. It's still above key moving averages. Principle has it that this has broken out because it's managed to break out from its high of around $60, and now it's trading at $64 a share. This is a heavy market cap, $129 billion. You need to have something drastic to come into this play to get it to actually drop aggressively. At the end of the day, people are going to drink. That's the truth. People are going to drink their beers, which leads me to another story. Check this out. This company, okay, Better Therapeutics. Now, just recently, the CEO has been replaced with a new CEO who stepped in. Now, this company itself it's not really been trading that long. It was IPO, which is an initial public offering, was back in March the 19th. And since then, it's made a move up and it's come back down and it's now basing out at around $1.29. Now, this is where opportunity can rise. This company specializes in prescription software solutions to treat cardiometabolic diseases. Well, what's a cardiometabolic disease? Well, I went onto Google and I started checking it out. So how do you get a cardiometabolic disease? Smoking, lack of exercise, drinking lots of alcohol, and eating an unhealthy diet. These are the contributing factors to a cardiometabolic disease. So this company has come about, just recently been listed. It has a software that might be appealing to pharmaceutical companies around the world, not just in the US, but around the world, at giving them an easier way of managing their prescriptions for tablets. Now, listen, this cardiometabolic disease is treatable, all right? You need to take a certain tablet that's going to help you out, get you off the smoking and get you into exercise. What tablet it is, it's a different story. The fact is that this company right here is going to be providing the software solutions to allow companies to sell these tablets in a more of a methodical way and manage their expectations of their client base. Now, here is where the opportunity is. Go to the homepage of this company right here. Scroll down, and this is what's disturbing. Obesity rates are just flying up. Look at that in the US. So the blue line is the US healthcare expenditure in trillions. We're near enough above the $3 trillion mark, yeah? And in here, the Americans diagnosed with obesity is in the millions, and that's going up, all right? Well, we haven't had 2020 yet or any more data from this, but you can see that it's going up. That only means that there's more people that are obese. That also means that diabetes itself is flying up. Look at that bad boy. Hypertension, look at this, flying up, ladies and gentlemen. And finally, heart disease is starting to slow down, but nonetheless, it's been going up. What does that mean? Well, this company right here is, in my opinion, the sad truth of it all, the more people are sick, the better business this company gets. That's the sad truth of it, guys. You know, do you want me to put a spanner in the works for you? Look what's going on with Russia, Ukraine, China, all these aerospace defense companies building all these machineries, these weapons, getting these contracts, $500 million contract for a 2-year period to make these jets. And what are these jets for? Just to show us what it's like to fly? No chance. These jets are going to be used to be... you can't even say it on here. Man, I need to change this platform, man. I just want to say what I really want to say. But a company like this, if people start changing their behaviors, you can see that we've got a problem in the US with people's diets. All right? That's what this data is suggesting. And as long as people are getting diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, obesity, this company, in my opinion, is cheap as anything. We actually go and look at who's been buying this company right now, and you can see in the last, since April the 12th, since the new CEO has stepped in, Mr. Frank Carbe, let me just bring that up for you. Here we go. Frank Carbe is the new CEO, and already it's been moving up. Now, these guys have been picking up quite a bit of stock. So Frank Carbe stepped in, and he's now brought himself $200,000 worth of shares. We've also got Jeffrey Parker. He's picked up $250,000 worth, and David Perry, which is the co-founder and CEO, the main guy. Okay, he's obviously picked up $4 million worth of these shares because he's obviously onto something. He knows about the company. But just look, this is a long-term play. We know there's a problem. And this company provides the software solutions to treat these diseases. This is how you navigate opportunity with certain stocks in certain industries. We've already got problems with the way people are eating anyway around the world. We're always looking for that wholesome food, but is it always going to be wholesome? Where can you get it for yourself? How are you going to nurture your own food? You can't. It's a tough environment. The land is not the land as it was before, ladies and gentlemen. That's the truth. It's all artificial. Companies like this will provide a service. Check the company out. Doesn't look like it's doing much in terms of earnings per share. It's still young. It's an infant in the stock market. But there's some interest coming into this bad boy. Come back to me and let me know what you think of this one. Now we go back into our Bitcoin price action, ladies and gentlemen. So today's been a very, very funny day. All right. In the New York live stream earlier on today, this zone right here was drawing our attention. We were waiting for Bitcoin to spike up. Go back into that live stream earlier on, and if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe so you get notified about these live streams where I open the New York session. I don't physically open the New York stock market, but we will get to that stage very soon, guys. Don't worry about that. I'm going to make a trip to New York, and I'm just going to knock on their door and say, can I hit the ding-a-ling, the bell? Ding, 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 ding. Happy days. Anyways, earlier in the live stream, we were talking about this area. Tino, man, what's wrong with your face, my bro? Wow. Anyways. This area was a very important area on Bitcoin, and we were focusing on that because this is where the VWAP was. And what I'm going to be educating you here is helping you understand how you can project price based on a certain number of factors. So throughout the live stream, we were waiting for Bitcoin to make a move. We go over here, and you can see that the VWAP right there is where the trigger was. Because what happens is institutional investors like to buy below the VWAP and then they sell above the VWAP, okay? Now, we had our attention on the 30,600 zone. So we go back into that area and we can see that the 30,600 region had a lot of liquidation points. So we go back into the 7-day chart, and at that point, we were waiting for them to take $4.4 billion worth of short liquidations, all right? That was the nearest area of liquidity. And they actually went for it. They missed it, but then they went for it and took it. But they didn't take it all because there's still $4.2 billion worth of short liquidations at 30,700. Now, we go into the chart itself and you can see, look at that. Despicable. 30,600. It was actually 30,594. What was the clue? Well, as we go into the bookmap itself, we can see that we were waiting for this order here. There was about 918 Bitcoin orders. If I zoom in, you'll see it. There it is, right, just about, if you can see it. Let me expand the chart right there. Look at this guy's face, man. Like I'm just about to, look at that. See that order there? 918? That was fluctuating between 700 Bitcoin orders and 900 Bitcoin orders. What was important was the fact that it remained present in the chart, which was giving me the idea that the narrative was Bitcoin was going to move higher up, okay? Now, we go into the price itself and you can see Bitcoin has been repeating this same process over and over again. Just look. Isn't it funny how Bitcoin has spiked up? And we explained this in the live stream. And when you start seeing this structure happening in the market, it's telling you that market maker is running for stops, all right? What we're looking for is a nice move like this by Bitcoin shifting out, okay? That's what we're looking for. Now that Bitcoin has broken this area, we go into the 1 hour time frame, you can see that it's actually cleared that area right now. So now we've got a different story that we need to be considering. If Bitcoin can sustain above this 50 EMA zone right here, we're trending upwards. But we're going into tomorrow. And tomorrow is the news announcements for JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and BlackRock. All we need to do is go over to the stock market and see how they fared for the day as well. And S&P, what an interesting day on S&P, ladies and gentlemen. We had this in the Patreon. I shared a video this morning talking about where we expect Bitcoin to end up from the morning session going into the live stream, all right? And S&P and NASDAQ were part of the gang that we were getting ready to see a recovery of. And this was the recovery of the red vector candle region right here. And we were talking about it in the Discord. So once you become a patron, you get part and access of the market maker tier where we're sharing trades. I took a few trades on Euro and we had a trade on NASDAQ. No, it was S&P. Well, that's my crystal ball, by the way. That's what helps me project price. But we share things like this in the Discord where I'm trying to help the guys in there understand what could be developing to sustain a move higher or lower. And in this instance, I shared this image of ExoChart showing that the S&P had stacked imbalances and there was a lot of absorption because, look, the sales were coming in, but they weren't really gaining any ground and there was not that much activity from the sellers to mark price down lower, okay? That tells me that there was a lot of buyers coming in favoring higher prices. And then, of course, when the move happened, they shifted out to the upside and then achieved the recovery of the red vector candle. And now it's gone back into the wick right there. Happy days. Same story for NASDAQ as well. Came back, all our zones have been recovered. Happy days, shifting to the upside. Now we need to pay close attention because tomorrow, with the news announcements, if JP Morgan misses its estimates and the banks collectively miss their estimates, that's going to put pressure on the market itself. So you made it this far, mad love and respect. Put happy days in the comments section so I know the pattern watchers have checked in this evening. But more importantly, going into tomorrow, we've got preliminary consumer sentiment coming out, and of course, the retail sales data for the US is going to be released as well. It's going to be a market mover. Same as today. Wait for the first hour to finish, and then you'll start to see the moves playing out. All right? Take profit where you can. Always pay yourselves. And if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button so you can get more of this flavor, and go into the description of the video for more information on the hybrid system. Take care of yourselves, gang. Mad love and respect. Peace.